Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Leilu Nishmas Rossi Ruspas Mordechai. We'll go straight to the videotape. We need some volume. Harav Agoy Reb Joey Newcomb.
You light it up? Not working.
Yeah.
Good morning, Rabbi Sai.
So I don't know if he does the daf with us. If he doesn't, he better. But at least he could collaborate with us and bring more people to Torah, no? Write up like a shmak and niggin or something. Dear Eli, after such an amazing few days being with you, making me the world famous and having the pleasure of talking to you after this year, I feel it's an opportunity to only be fitting to express my feelings in writing. This is from Eli Zelliger. He sat right over here. The guy that went through Shiva Medur Gehenim, 5 months I think in the hospital, coma, the whole thing. Having joined the daf almost a year ago, my day is very different, has different meaning to it. On several occasions, I've been asked to speak at family simchas. I've always managed to share something from the current daf. You have inspired me. You've been blessed, blah, blah, blah. I came back to London Sunday and informed about the barbecue, held in Yosef's honor. Baruch Hashem, I managed to get there purely to give him a shekoyach and show me Akar Satoy for the amazing work that he does. On Sunday morning, briefly after share, I met Gary. You guys are simply amazing. You hear, Gary? You're amazing. Wow. You, Rebelli, together with your team, are one of a kind. My brother told you. Review. You're very good with the video thing. Do rewind. My brother told you, together with your family, you should be blessed with many healthy years in addition nachas and be able to continue your sterling work for many years to come. Kol Tuv, Eli Zelliger. Rabbi Sai, I want to introduce to you a 30-second clip that the Olam should put on their status. It'll help the Olam. You hear, Mendy? You put this on your status, and people are going to come to Deal, New Jersey. Check this out with the volume. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. All right. You'll find it on your WhatsApp groups. Put it on your status. Let's make this huge, mega. Just joking. Hi, Rebelli. I wanted to personally thank you for giving my father, Yisrael Rothman, the covet during the shir last week. He's still on cloud 9, that he finally went to live daf. He's been watching your shir for quite a while. It's a real thrill. He hasn't been to Yisrael since 1970. It was because of you that he was asking to go. Get him over his anxiety, fears of being on a plane. Thank you again. May Hashem give you bracha, to protect your mishpacha from any negativity. That's nice. And share you with bracha, parnasah, hatzlacha, and you continue with simchas achayim. All the best. Yonah Rothman, a good friend from the old days of Chaim Berlin. Camp. What's it called over there? Mares, Ishkoyach. Mazel tov to MDY member Shmuel Summer. I'm being 18 today. Keep steiging b'simcha. Thank you, Rav Stefansky. Shkoyach. Check this out, Noam. David Agal found this on the highway. The original Baldwin brother. Wow. The Olam is stealing from us. You know, even in California, they're taking our ideas. Okay, I can't read this whole email from Adam Labato. I've been on the journey since Brachas Daf Beis. That's Choshev, Brachas Daf Beis. I'm a massive fanboy. Is that a Lashon in England, a fanboy? Okay, I'm not sure what it means. I do my best to spread the word about MDY and the Daf. I never say single dash since Brachas. He hasn't missed a single day until the night of March 28th, when his father was nifter. Many of the wonderful MDY Mishpacha were davening for him, despite never having met him. Oh, listen to this. The daf has carried me through so much over the past 900 days. Today, Rabbi Isai, is day 900 since Brachas Daf Beis. It's huge, huge, huge. Wow, unbelievable. Mazel tov to everybody. Brachas Daf Beis. And if you got on a day ago, it's also okay. You'll get there soon. But the last almost 3 months have impacted me the most through the Shiva, prevented from learning, visited countless members. The care and camaraderie was overwhelming. Yevamos, probably the trickiest Masechta to miss a daf and catch up. This wave of inspiration was wonderful. Chevra carried me through. I just want to say thank you. Mashpia, Shliach. More into cheerful matters. London Chevra, we're excited to get the opportunity to meet the one and only Yosef Biliak. Hosted a wonderful barbecue by Ari Davis. 25 guys, Jews of all types, keepers, backgrounds, accents, all connecting like old friends. It was great to see my old friend Yosef Biliak. We go back over 20 years. So finally, Shiki request. I'm planning a trip to Eretz Yisrael this summer, the 11th of August. Sorry, I'm leaving right after Tisha B'Av, when the fast is over, on a plane, out. Sorry, a few people ask me this. Continue love and gratitude for all you do. Kol Tov, Adam Labato. Oh, and finally, this is a very sad email. My name is Yosef Zaklos. I'm a Chabad rabbi in downtown Boston. One of our community members is a regular listener to your Daf Yomi shir. A regular listener, Rabbi Yisai. He has a 2-year-old daughter who's in remission. But that's not it. And now, Leilu, they found a large mass in the brain of a second child, 6 months old. Hashem Yerachim. The little boy will having surgery tomorrow, Tuesday, which was yesterday. I think he'll get chizuk. He can dedicate the shir. Lzchus Refuah Shilayma Kroiva for Chaim Orem ben Aviva Orli. Everybody have in mind. Chaim Orem ben Aviva Orli. Kindly let me know if this is possible. Cover Rabbi Yosef Zaklos from Boston. So this month's sponsor for the Koilo hatzlacha Mishpachas MDY. And for the week. Lzchus Shidduch Yeshua Elio ben Tzipayr Lzchus parnasah Toiva Moshie Yaakov ben Shoshana. Parnasah Chodesh Ahron Fraiman Lzchus continue parnasah siyadta dishmaya hatzlacha to rebelli. Parnasah Chodesh by Lock and Lebovic Families Lakewood NJ because Torah is the best segulah. Leilu Nishmas Chai bas Yosef. Refuah Shilayma for Yוכbed Abya bas Shifra. MDY Family Leilu Nishmas Shimshon Weiss Shimshon ben Meshulam Dov Zechron Levracha. Rabbi say check, I don't know also, they started a page, they want to raise $1 million for Shimi Weiss, for his ganzen Shpach. He has 3 Yisoimim that are not married, and Almana, they have below zero. Yaakov and Fegi, Lezeich Nishmas, Aaron Duvid, Ben Yisrael Halevi, Blabstein, Abba Rennert in honor of Yosef Biliak, 3rd mention today, the master editor. And finally, I should be Zoicha to have Nachas the Kedusha and tremendous success in my new endeavors. Amen. Here we are. On Daf Kufvav Amud Beis by Omar Abaya, 246, 8 lines from the bottom. Rokika ukalatatu haruach, she spat, and it was lifted up by the wind and taken away. The Gemara is going to explain. She didn't do anything. What does it mean? My taima, you have to spit right in front of the Yevamos face. Hilkach. Hu aroich v'igutza, if he's tall and she's short. Over here it is good because she's short. So it doesn't have to be in front of his face, it has to be in front of him, and wherever she spits, it's going to be in front of him. However, if she's very tall and he's very short, if it travels over his head and lands somewhere else, then it never went in front of him. It didn't fall in front of him. That is a problem. She ate garlic and then she spit out. I told you this story, but it's very negate to hear. We were only married about 2 weeks. My wife has never made a meal in her life. Today she's a phenomenal cook, but back then she never touched the pan. She decided to invite her parents for Shabbos. So for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, but it gives me a lot of, what's the word? You'll understand. Her father hates. There's only one food he hates, and that's garlic. So she decided to make Cornish hens with garlic. And it said a clove of garlic, maisa shahaya. She didn't know what a clove is, but she knew what garlic was. So she put the entire garlic in every chicken. And her father came, and he took a bite out of it, and he was, wow, this is unbelievable. And he ate the whole thing, and he was smiling the whole time. And afterwards he said he wanted to throw up the entire time. Anytime my wife makes something I don't like, I just go back to that story. It's not her fault. Like, she knew her father hates garlic. She did it anyways. What's the pshat? Who knows? Yeah. So if she spat after she ate some garlic, imagine my shver spitting afterwards. What is it from? Is it the spit or it comes from the garlic? Ochla gargishta. This is interesting. Some chewed up clay, something from the ground, says Rashi, Raksa. And she spit it out. Yosef v'leklub, my timer. V'yarka me'atzma bina, and has to come from her own body, not from another source. V'leka. That's why there's the minhag today that the Yevamos doesn't eat from the night before. They have to see the spit coming out of the mouth. By the way, yesterday's video, I saw it on somebody's screen. I really didn't see the spit coming out of that cutout. You hear people laughing, you don't know why. Maybe, I don't know, I have to go back and see, maybe he blew it up or something. That, I would not be yaitz. If I was the dayan on that case, and people laughing, but you don't see the spit, you're not yaitz, you have to see it coming out of the mouth. Who announces it? The dayanim, not the talmidim. We were once in front of Rebbe Tarfon. Rebbe Tarfon said, "Anu kulchem, say 3 times, chalutz anoal, chalutz anoal, chalutz anoal. Hadran aloch mitzvahs chalitzo, hadran aloch mitzvahs chalitzo, hadran aloch mitzvahs chalitzo." The official Mishnah, brand new parak, is sponsored. Leilu Nishmas, Reb Meir Chil, Ben Reb Avrom, Zechron Levracha. So now we're going to be discussing, it's only 5 days this parak, going to be discussing Miyun. So, Miyun, just be careful, Gary, this don't show the screen. Miyun. What's Miyun? So we had it a number of times, many times in the Masechta. We'll go over in case you're just starting today. That is, Midoraisa, a father can marry off his daughter who's a minor, who's below the age of 12. Once he dies, he doesn't have the right to marry her off. Or they don't have the sons, well, he's dead. The sons, the brothers, the mother don't. But Midrabanan, we don't want people to treat her befkeros. She doesn't have somebody to discipline her. She might go out and who knows what. So they allow the brothers and the mother to marry off midrabanan. But there's a concept called miyun. In that the rabbanon, she could refuse the marriage. At any given time, she could just say, I don't want it. Say maybe different words, we'll see. Or show actually that she doesn't want the marriage according to some. And the marriage is gone. We have 5 machlokes in the Mishnah. In the Koilel, they came up with Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Arusa, Baal, Gomel, as we're going to see, there was a guy by the name of Gomel. Dayanim, do you need Dayanim or not Dayanim? And the last thing in the Mishnah is, what if she's Memayim 5 times? Could she do 5 miyunim? Or she's only allowed once? Is it a one-time deal? Or she could do more? Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, if you want to remember. So Aleph, Beisham Yormim, Ei Mimanim, Ela Arusa, is Aleph, Arusa. Beisham have the opinion that when she's in stage 1 of the marriage, right before Nisuin comes Erusin, we call an engagement, not really, but there's a full ring, the whole process, sometimes it lasted for a year. During that stage, she could say, I don't want to be engaged, I don't want to be an Erusa. But once she's married, say Beishame, it's too late. Arusois, Unasuois. Not true. Even a married girl, she's 11 years old, middle of her marriage, she gets upset at her husband, she says, I'm out of here. Marriage is over. Her first husband dies. She falls liyibam to the brother. Now what? Could she continue the same thing? She was able to do it to her original husband, so he died. The second husband, the yavam takes over that position. Now she could continue saying it. No. Only the husband, v'loy biyavam. Both. She could do it to the Yibum. We're going to see a little bit more in the Gemara. So that's the Beis, Baal. So this is a story in the Gemara about Gamal, not such a great guy. So they said you could do it even Shalei Befanov. So that's the Gimel, Gamal. So, can you do Mion? Could she go to 3 people, to Dayanim, and say, I don't want to be married to him. He's a jerk. But he's not here. He's in Europe somewhere skiing. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you today, I don't want to be married to him. It absolves the marriage. Do you need dayanim? I don't know what that sound is, but okay. You better be sorry. We're in the middle of a shir here. Beishamai say you could perform miyun 4 times. She does it once. Next. Does it again. Keeps on going. So Beisil say, Beisil are the opinion, you can do it over and over. Hold on a second. B'nois Yisrael. What's crazy? B'nois Yisrael, they are not hefker. Huh? Where? No. Okay, hefker. Weiter. He's saying, hey, b'nois Yisrael hefker. You know the Yishamis go, hey, b'nois Yisrael, hey, b'nois. Prove it. Give a cook. Look over there. Check this They wouldn't stop.
Well, he paid them before. The next part is he made us a demo chart.
They left me a matana here. I don't know. I had a lot of fun. Me and Gary were laughing for an hour after they left. It's unbelievable. Givald, B'nois Yisrael Enim Hefker. I'm telling you, I called up my friend, the Yerushalmi. I said, I need 10 guys to come to my Beis Medrash. I didn't want to do it outside and wake up people. In 20 minutes, below Guzma, 20 minutes, 2 taxis arrived there. Right over here. Not joke, 20 minutes, below Guzma, maybe 17 minutes. Whatever. You always, anything with Yerushalmis, you have to shtickle. Anyways, Ein B'nois Yisrael. Anybody ever hear this live? Ein B'nois Yisrael Efker. Comes from this Mishnah right here. Elo me'enes umamtenes ashetagdil. So she does miyun once, and then the Mishnah says, Elo me'enes umamtenes ashetagdil v'timoin shenis. She does a miyun a second time, v'tinos, and she gets married. Nachum. Beishamai say you cannot do it 4 or 5 times. You do miyun, then she waits until she's older, and then it says after she's older, v'timoin, which is a pellet plime. What? At least somebody enjoyed it. He's from Beth, right? Get over here, come. You try. Get over here. I gotta. Do you know these guys? A little bit. Who knows them? There's a guy hiding. He was so serious the whole time. The guy in the back left, and the guy in the center was unbelievable. He's so. I know. That's one of the most emes zachen ever. Come here and tell me that. He said it's going to cost me for the rest of my life. He knows what he's talking about. That's why I did it in the Mishnah, not in my house. They said, should we come to your house? I said, no. Okay. We have a number of reasons. Why is it that a ktana cannot perform miyun? Again, she gets married. A nesua ktana cannot do miyun. Why? If she's married, she can't do miyun. Lefisha ein tanai b'nesuin. when a person gets married, even if he makes a condition with his wife, you have to do 100 jumping jacks every Rosh Chodesh. Once he gets married and he's with her, there's relations, he's moichel everything. So there's no tnai. So if there's no tnai in a regular marriage, people might come and say, wait a minute, she's married over here. If this youngster is married, why is she out of it? Because it's a tnai and she didn't agree to tnai. People are going to get confused. Nichnasa asked the Gemara, that's great if they consummated the marriage. Where's the mechila? Why would he be moicheler? Again, because he does love her, he brought her into the chuppah, then he's moicheler anyways. This is the step right before relations. And Memela, he's moicheler at that point as well. But there's another step that's not as, there's no closeness like chuppah. Just by giving, or not so much the father, you have to say, Rashi right away jumps on this. He's said it a few times in the Masechta. Doesn't mean the fathers, it means the brothers, the koyach of the father. But if the brothers give her over to shliach, there's no love yet, there's no connection between the two. There's only to a messenger. So on that, you have to say, Chachamim didn't make an afkamina between once she's in the parsha of getting married, that's it. Nobody's going to make a mistake, say Beis Hillel, don't worry about it. Everybody knows that we're talking about a minor below the age of 12, and a minor can do miyun. Rabbi Yosef Damar Tavayu, what's the reason of Beis Shammai that a ktana who gets married cannot do miyun? Time of the Beis Shammai, what's going to happen when she decides that she doesn't want this marriage? So all the be'ilos, the relationships they had together, turn into znus. So a person doesn't want to render all his be'ilos znus, so he's never going to marry her. What's the whole thing? Chachamim want this man to marry her, to take care of her and prevent her from going off the derech. Nobody's going to want to marry her. Nobody wants to be calm and noyef and say that all his be'ilos was znus. So Mela, their takana, their whole thing of miyun is ruining their takana to get married. Okay, that's great if they had relations, but no relations. Why not? Why can't you be mimai? Again, the same concept. He did a chuppah, brought in the Rosh Hashiva, there's a whole thing, and brought the whole thing, and now it's going to be a chuppah that was done be'isurs, kaviyachal. It's like she uprooted to begin with. Okay, like we had the question before. There's no chuppah yet. So what is he concerned about? It was only giving over to a messenger. We just have to make one rule that fits everything. Since you're right, there's no bia, but there's kedushin, there's ksuba. So everybody knows that this guy intended to be a good guy. He's not a noyef, he's not doing any isurim. He did everything halachically. She happened to uproot the kedushin lemafreya, and it turned into bilas nus. So that doesn't concern him that much. Rab Papa Amar. Nobody in shul is going to point at him and say, "Oh, you noyef, you boil bilas is nus." Rab Papa Amar time to be shamim shum peret. We're concerned about her nechasim that she comes in with nichsei milug, like we had Tzayin Barzel. Tzayin Barzel is a salad. She comes in with a nursing home. He has to give her back with if it went down in value, up in value, he has to give back exactly as is. But nichsei milug, he gets to use the payers. He doesn't have to be concerned about anything. So we're concerned. This guy, if he knows that she could absolve the marriage and get out of this marriage, no problem, he's not going to take care of her stuff. He's just going to ruin it. He's going to, if the rule is you don't plant twice a year, just once a year, he'll plant 3 times a year. What does he care? He'll ruin her field. It's not his. He's just using it. He'll try to squeeze it for what he could get. If he's married to her and everything from the field is his, he has to take good care of it. Time of the Hillel mishum period, time of the Bisham mishum period, the Iyamis Nesua Timayan, if she could do mion and retroactively get rid of the whole marriage, he'll sit there and he'll eat up the payros, the soif l'meibat kayima. This woman is not going to be his wife, so what does he care? She brought a nursing home, he's not going to upgrade, he's not going to do anything, he's just going to squeeze the nursing home until the last dime. Or Hillel Adarabba, given the Armis Timayan, if he's scared that she might do mion, he's going to take good care of her property. Why? Savar the Eli. If he won't take care of it, they'll start, all the relatives say, look at this jerk. He's not taking care of you. They're gonna give her advice to just say the words. You don't want to be married to him? Done. So he's gonna take good care of the nursing home. Another pshat. Who wants to make a whole wedding with the photographer, with the band and everything, and just goes into the garbage? 2 days later, I don't want to be married. You do this and this with the, you know how it goes the first few weeks. You're supposed to do the toothpaste like this and the toilet seat like that. I'm out of here. There's a learning curve over there. And he doesn't want a whole $100,000 chasen in the garbage. No, they don't care what happens. Later on, she's going to absolve the marriage. As long as he has a shame, married. There's a elder bacher in Hebron, I think it was 40-something years old. He got married and 2 days later got divorced. They said, well, what's pshat? He said, no, the shidduch market for the divorcees is a lot stronger. That's why I wanted a shem garush. It's much better. Okay, different names, different things. You have a beautiful machloikis here. The three in green are like a side machlokes that we're going to be discussing. The main shaila here is very interesting. What kind of power does Miyun have when this youngster, let's call her 11-year-old, she looks at her husband and says, I don't want to be married to you. What does it do? What does it accomplish? Does it get rid of their marriage? But what about if she falls li'ibum? He didn't marry her yet, the Yavam. She fell to him. She's in that in-between stage, the Zika. She's bound to him, but she's not his wife yet. Could she look at the Yavam and say the same words? I don't want to be married to you, and it absolves that as well. So that's machlokes number one. Shai says, no, it doesn't work for Zika. It only works for marriage. And Ula says it works for both. Okay. Now, we're going to have another machlokes, just so you have a little chazar when we get there, not important for now. What happens if there are two brothers? And she looks at one brother and she says, I don't want to be married to you. How does it affect the second brother? Is she out of it completely? Or she's only out of it for him? Or she's not out of it at all? Those are the three shittas. All three. Mikatza l'katza. If she says, I don't want to be married to you, I'm not married to all 10 brothers. All 10 are not, there's no zik. Or, not only does it not work for the brothers, it doesn't even work for him. So she can marry him. After she said, I don't want to be married to him, she can marry him. Or, she could pick and choose and say, I don't want to be married to you. So, she's done with that guy. But she could be married to the other brother. So, we'll see that machlokes as well. And somehow, those three are connected in a way to the first two. Says the Gemara, she has the right to do miyun to maimer. In other words, if the yavam, so I didn't explain it well before, if the yavam goes ahead and gives her kiddushin, we said that kiddushin only works midrabanan. So if she does miyun, it gets rid of that derabana, but it doesn't get rid of the zika, of the deraisa zika, that she's bantim, she can't get married to anybody else unless the yavam gives her chalitza. Yeah, this is in Beis Hillel. Mezlam Amoroi, says Rashi, is in Beis Hillel. Ve'ena mimen es l'zikasai. Omer Rav Chizda, my time at the Rebbe Shaya. Maimed the medaita. Since Maimer, she accepted the kiddushin from her yavam, matzi akra, that she has power over. She could say, I don't want it. Zika de balkarcha. But Zika happened, midayrais, the Torah put her there, bonded to that yavam, leimotz akra. She can't undo it. As the Gemara, very be de balkarcha. When he performs ibum, it could be balkarcha. How do we know it could be balkarcha? We're at the end of the sechta, but it says in the pasuk, Yevama yava yolea. Not Eileha, Aleha, Bakarchach. Yet, Matzia Akra, she could be oiker with Chalit, with Mion. Says Gemara, Bio Maimar Duhu Ka'avid Matzia Akra. Anything that he does to her, she could be oiker. Zika, Drachmana, Ramala, Limatzia Akra. The step before that, which is Zika, she doesn't have power over it. Ula Amar, Mima Enes Afla Zikasai. Ula says no. Sponsored by Moshie Horn in honor of Hillel Zand. Sponsored by Nisano. Hatzlacha, Ruchni, and Gashmi from Murad Nakash for introducing me to MDY. Murad Nakash doing the crazy amount of work, literally hundreds of hours of work to get to see him together. The only person that really appreciates it probably is Tomer. He knows what kind of work goes into that. Huh? Took him like a month to recoup from that siyum that we did. Okay. My time. Why could, this makes a lot of sense. Why could she do miyun to the zika, the bond that she has with the yavam? Because what she's doing is she's not dealing with the zika. She's going back to the original marriage. Yes, her husband is not alive anymore. When he was alive, she had the right to say, I don't want to be married to this guy. So when he dies also, she says, 2 weeks ago when I was married to him, I don't want to be married to him. And she's undoing that. The very, very first mission of Yevamos, which I was told needs to be redone with newer and better charts, kind of turned people away from Yevamos that one day. That was a disaster. Not whatever. It was the first time using the graphics, using different software. Siri just went off. I don't know what happened. Interesting. Okay, sorry. By the way, I have to announce this because we're getting, I'm not exaggerating, we got at least 40 emails about this device, which is not so clean right now, but we have a working prototype. We don't feel comfortable yet to send it out, but we want to send it out. We want to make sure that it's there for the boys going to camp. You have no idea how many parents. Most of comes with the Gemara on the bottom. The kids are. So, now it's going to keep on going. Lamaisa, it's a beautiful idea. Be'ez Hashem will happen. Where Morty Rubin is working very, very hard on it. A bunch of people. Gary's working on it overtime. Be'ez Hashem will have it even for camp. If not. But we need to make sure it's a good product, that it comes out and you can't break into it, you can't this, and everything works fine. Okay. We only want to give out 100, and we have more than 100 requests, so we'll see what happens. Sell, I should say, not give out, sell. Unless, Nachman, you're sponsoring all 100. You said yesterday you want to sponsor something. I don't know. Okay, yeah.
You asked me for 3.
3, I know. I got it.
You got from 0 to 100, I'll never know.
You have to be maximum a little bit. Okay. I got off track here because I was thinking about Daf Beis, which was a shtickle of disaster, unfortunately, but okay. Over here, you have 2 brothers, the Baldwin brothers, and one of them, Shimon, has a daughter. And then what happened was, Reuven marries his niece. How does he marry his niece? So Rashi, I said it on the first mission, I remember saying it, she's a Yesoyma b'chayav. How could you get married to, how could you do miyun? You could only do miyun when a brother marries you off, not when the father marries you off. And over here, Shimon is alive. The answer is because this is her second marriage. She got married and she got divorced. She has what a life. She's 11 years old. She's already on her second marriage. Fine. Now, the guy she married had another wife, the 5-towner. And the guy went sideways. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this. This is a new shtick all the way up to the Masechta. He goes from a blue suit to on a side in gray. So different. Okay, fine. So the halacha is that let's go back to the problem. The problem is that 2 women fall to Shimon. His own daughter, the Ktana, and a tzara. This is the first Mishnah. These are one of the 15 tzaras. Since Shimon cannot marry his own daughter, obviously, what does he do with the 5-towner that fell to him liibum? What's this problem? Because she fell the 5-towner midaraisa. The youngster, his own daughter, only fell midarabanan. She wasn't really married to the brother halachically midaraisa. Rabbanan said it's a quasi marriage. It's a marriage that if she just says I don't want to be married, she's out of it. It's not a real marriage. So for that, you can't tell the 5-towner to go walk, take a hike. If it was a real erva, fine. But if it's a real tzara, great. It's a real erva, not a real tzara. So the halacha is, we do chalitza. At least just give her something, certainly not yibum, because of the rabbanan problem here, that she's a tzara to his own daughter, but give the 5-towner chalitza. So what's the problem? If the little girl could do mion after her husband Ruvain goes bye-bye, so let her do mion today. Let her do a mion, and it'll turn out that halachically she was never ever married to Ruvain, and now Ruvain is left with one wife, the 5-towner, and that one wife could have yibum. Says Gemara, Tzaras Erev Shani. You have to be careful with the Tzaras Erev, what people are going to say. It looks bad. The Tani Rami Bar Cheskel, Mi'arab Baal Muteres La'aviv. If this is unbelievable, the little girl does mion to her husband. Let's say she did mion to. Well, this is Gemara's question. Let her. This is a step before. Let the girl do mion to Ruvain. Then it turns out that she was never married to. There's a different chart. She was never married to Reuven, and therefore Shimon can marry the 5-towner. The Gemara says, if the girl was married to Reuven, and she did mion to Levi, a brother, then the halacha is biyavam asura la'aviv. She cannot marry the yavam's father. Once she did mion to a brother, she can't marry that brother's father, the guy in the Hamburg. But if she did mion to the husband, like to Ruvain, then she could marry Ruvain's father. It's unbelievable. Mion absolves the marriage so much so that they had no connection. They were never married. If they were never married, so then she could go ahead and marry Ruvain's father. But if she did mion to the brother, she can't marry the father. Alma, why? B'shas nefila niris kikalasoi. It looks like a kala. I'm not going to go into that whole story again, where I was in a hotel, there was a group of people there that weren't so religious, but they wouldn't eat. They ate chametz on Pesach, but they wouldn't eat anything that looked like gebroxt and chametz. Like a piece of pizza that was kosher Pesach, they wouldn't eat. Ma'aseh shaya, they wouldn't eat it. But real chametz that didn't look like chametz, that they would eat. Niris, something that looks. We have to be very careful about looks. Hachanami, b'shas, nefilo, niris, kitzaras bitan. So it's a derabbanan thing. It's a problem. The reason why we don't advise the girl to make mion today, so that her co-wife, the 5-towner, can marry the brothers, because it looks bad. It looks like a tzaras habas. Yeah, just to go back so everybody's understanding here. If we get rid of the girl in this picture, it still looks bad. Shimon cannot marry the 5-towner because it looks like he's marrying the co-wife of his daughter, even though she absolved the marriage. It looks bad. Omer Rav, mina b'zeh asur lezeh. Okay, so here, if this girl did mion to one brother, says Rav, we have a 3-way machlokes here. Remember, we discussed this. What's the halacha l'gabi Yehuda? Could she marry Yehuda? She did mion on one brother. Does it affect another brother like Yehuda? Rav says, yes, it affects. It's asur. If a girl or a woman, any Yevama, receives a get from one brother, all the brothers are asur. So mion works similar to a get. She becomes asur to all the brothers. Not true. She's allowed to marry Yehuda. There's no correlation to a get. When a man gives a get to a woman, he doesn't pick and choose who the get should work for. He gives her one get, that's it. She's divorced to everybody, so it ruins it for all the brothers. But mion, she's doing mion. And she says, I don't want to be married to you, but I want to be married to him. She's picking and choosing. I don't want you. I hate you. I don't want you. I despise you. What? Yeah. We're talking about Yevamim here. One Yavam, she said, I don't want you. The other one, I want you. Mion does nothing here. She can marry even the guy in this picture, Levi. She can marry him, even though she did mion. Says Gemara, So Rabbi Shai is the one that says that Mion only works for Maimer, doesn't work for Zika. You see on the top over there, it doesn't work for Zika. So the fact that she's looking at Levi in the face and says, I don't want to be married to you, Rabbi Shai says it doesn't do anything, zero. So Mela, she can marry him. So l'chayra, isn't that what Ravasi is saying? Says Gemara, if there's only one guy, you're right. No, what he's trying to say is that she can't pick and choose. Once she says, I don't want to be married to you, it includes all the brothers from that one zika that she had. She can't say, I want to be married to you, not to you. Divorce half one guy and not the other guy. It doesn't work like that. And I said divorce, I mean mion, but in l'saber sa'izin, like a divorce. She's looking at all the brothers. I want to divorce you, get rid of you. I don't want to. It doesn't work like that. All or nothing. So he comes along and he says, Rabbi Yochanan, if she does mion in one, she's mutter to the brothers. But what does that mean? Mutter to everybody, even the one she did it to, or only mutter to the other brothers? They didn't agree with him. What does it mean? Rav didn't agree to this. What does Rav say? Look at Rav. Rav says, mian b'zeh asur l'zeh. Rav says, once you do one mian, all the brothers become asur. So it doesn't work with Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, no, she's mutter to the other brothers. Rav Amar, no. Rabbi Shaya. Rabbi Shaya says that you could do mian only to Maimer, not to Zika. So it didn't work. Doesn't work at all. Why? Because when he says muteres la'achim, it's mashma dafka the brothers. Rashi says. Rashi explains. Rabbi Yochanan says mutter to the brothers. It doesn't say mutter. Rabbi Yochanan says mutter to everybody. What's mutter la'achim? Mashma, not to the one she's looking at and talking to. But according to Rabbi Shaya, it would work for the one she's talking to because it doesn't work on Zika. It only works on Maimer. So Mela, Rabbi Shaya disagrees with him. Ravasi. And some say that it disagrees with the Ravasi. The Ravasi says, Mutar la'achim, mutaris, even to him himself. On that he's arguing. He says, no, Rabbi Yochanan only said, only to the brothers, not to the guy that she looked at in the face. Okay. Let's try to get to the Mishnah here. Beishamai yoimrim b'fanav. Tanya yoimrim beisila lebeishamai. V'aloi pishan agamol. Pishan agamol story. This is Gimel. Mi'ano ishta shloi b'fanav. You see that you don't have to be in front of the guy. She doesn't have to be in front of the husband to say, I don't want to be married to you. What's the svara I saw in Rishonim? Sometimes if you're in front of the husband, she's embarrassed. Maybe she won't do it. Maybe she has a little bit more confidence. She's on the side. People are convincing her. Do it in front of the guy, see Bisham. But you see, by Pishan Agamol, they didn't say he has to be there. He was a ganav, he was a bad guy. Instead of filling up a whole cup like this, when he would sell, it's a mushal, he would use the underside of the cup, the smaller side. He was a ganav. Basically, he took her nichse malug, like we were talking about before, and he was abusing her property, so they punished him. Says the Gemara, so if he's eating nichse melug, pshita nesui, you don't get nichse melug, you don't get to use the nursing home if you're just engaged, only if you're married. Unbelievable kasha. In the Mishnah, Bishami say, the first thing in the Mishnah, the first machlek is Aleph, Arusa. Bishami say, you can't be married, only Arusa. No mion. Says the Gemara, an incredible thing. Trei kitri abdubei. They pulled off two tricks. First of all, they said that a married woman could do mion, in this case only because he's a bad guy. And second of all, it doesn't have to be in front of him. Ask Taisves, did they bring the Yerushalmi? You can't do it. How could you be mater Eishasish? Because you want to punish a guy. Mion doesn't work when you're married. So, Taisves goes on to say that it does work according to Bishami. Just they said it doesn't work. Or afkinu rabbanon l'kiddushin minei, they have the power to take away the kiddushin. Says the Gemara, Beishama yomer b'fnei bezdin, not also machalitza v'amiyunim b'shloisha. You need three people like dayanim. Mantana, who's that? Omer Rabba Beishamahi. As we learned in the Mishnah, Beis. No, Dalad, dayanim. You need dayanim. You need three. Abaya Oma afilu teime Beis Hillel. The fact that in the Mishnah they say you don't need dayanim, you don't need bezin, doesn't mean that you don't need bezin. What they're saying is you don't need professionals with smicha. Aval shloisha be'ina. You need 3 people. Everybody, there's no machlokes between b'sham yisrael. You need 3. The question is, what type of 3? Layman, or you need dafka of bezin. V'sayim b'sham yoyrim b'fnei bezin, or b'yisrael yoyrim b'fnei bezin, shloi b'fnei bezin. Ve'elu moedim shetzarich shloisha. You need 3. After the fact, it seems like the machshir, if you did only with 2, 8 them. Or Rav Yosef ben Yomi Omer Rav Nachman halacha koisei azug, 2 is enough, which is incredible because yesterday we learned in the name of Rav Nachman that halacha koisei azug that you need 3. And in fact, the Gemara made a tzrichusa. That's why they proved that one is right. This one is not so right, because if you have a tzrichusa, that means he really said it with the tzrichusa. Mishama yoimrim timoin. You could do miyun 4 or 5 times. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? And afterwards, the Mishnah says that she should go ahead and be mimayin afterwards when she becomes a gdoila. But she already did miyun. Big chiddush. When she gets older, she says, I approve of the miyun I did when I was 11 years old. I still don't want to be married to that guy. In other words, if she says, I don't approve, then she could undo the miyun that she did and be married to that guy. The guy is up the creek. You can never marry that age group. No, you don't do miyun twice. What the Mishnah means to say is, either you do nisuin, because in nisuin, what do Beishamai hold? Arusa only, not a nisua. You can't do miyun. So make sure you get married, and therefore there will only be 1 miyun in this girl's life. The other option is, I'm sorry, what did I say? Either you get engaged again, but when? When you're a g'dayla, or she could get married right now and she's a ktana, because if she's in a suah, she won't be able to be mine anymore. So B'kitzur, what he's saying is there's only 1 miyun in the Mishnah, but 2 different cases. I understand the lashon. Let's wait until she gets older, and then she'll get married. You don't need another miyun. Kasha, the lashon is not so good because he says, wait until she's a gdoila and make sure she liked the miyun. But that doesn't fit so well into the lashon. Kasha, indeed, it's a good kasha. Have a wonderful day.